Alright, so this is where we find out that Therese is a really bad Filipino. A really bad Filipino. Hey everyone, it's Therese and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be me talking about my TBR for PhilMyth Readathon. This is a 2-week-long readathon that started by Gerald the booktuber. I just found his channel recently through Yatita Kate, which I will leave both their channels linked down below as they are both the co-hosts. Gerald wanted to start something that was based around Filipino mythology and started this off. And this is the first, I think this is the first round that this is happening. And this one goes from March 29th, which is today when this video comes out, all the way through April 11th. So, because I have things that I cannot pronounce in this video, let's get into it. Also, for all of these mythologies, since the Philippines, like, their myths aren't very well known, I'll be trying to find videos or short articles that explain what the myths are, just so you guys can also be educated on top of being able to enjoy this book, this readathon with me. Alright, so there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 prompts. This is the number 3. But my hand here is holding up 5, so. There are a total of 8 prompts here, and I believe the way you can join this TBR is by posting your TBR either on social media and tagging the co-hosts, all the hosts, which I will link all their socials down below. Or if you're extra like me, because I am a Filipino and I am extra, you can go ahead and make a TBR video, which is what I'm doing. So the first prompt, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm really sorry, so we're just gonna... There's going to be a theme of this video. The first prompt is Manananggal, which is from Filipino mythology. It's a flying vampire that's like disembodied, and you can see like all the entrails. It reminds me a little bit of, I believe it's a Chinese myth that I heard recently. But the prompt for that one is read a book told from 2 perspectives. Now, I am a little confused on exactly the parameters of that. And because I have a lot of other read-alongs and readathons, I will be cheating and bending the rules just a little bit. So I could choose a lot of books for this one, but since I'm in the middle of one, I'm going to bend it just a smidgen. And we are going to go with The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is a high fantasy adult novel that my friend Sarah from String Bean Books and I have been reading since February. We are now about halfway through. This is a lot of things. It's gay, there are dragons, and why I'm choosing this specific book for this prompt is because there are multiple points of views, but I'm choosing it based on the perspective of how people see dragons. Here we have an east and a west perspective, and there we see 2 different perspectives on how to treat and what people see dragons as. The West sees the dragons as darker beings that need to be destroyed and get rid of them, and they need to be held back and, like, you know, suppressed and all that stuff, while the East kind of hold the dragons in a high regard and have dragon riders and people who think they are the best of the best and need to protect it and are sacred. So that is where I'm coming from with 2 perspectives. The next book on this list is a Kapre, and I have never actually heard of this one, so let me just look up and see what exactly this is. Okay. Oh. So, a Kapre is described as a tree giant. It is described as a tall, 7 to 9 feet, big, black, terrifying, hairy, muscular creature. They are described having a strong smell that attracts humans. They stay at a branch of a tree smoking. That's an interesting image. The prompt for this is to choose the tallest book in your bookshelf. Now, I have a lot of tall books, and I'm pretty sure this book is one of the taller books that I have, and that is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book to the Six of Crows duology. If you guys don't know, I have been participating in a read-along with my friends on Twitter about December-ish, I want to say, November, where we have been reading through the entire Grishaverse series. We are now finally reaching Crooked Kingdom, and it is now the month for that in April. So I'll be reading this book in April, and as well for this readathon, because it's a pretty, I think she's fairly tall. I think the only other book that could be as tall or taller than this one is the Wicked King and Cruel Prince, but I already read those. So this series essentially follows a bank heist, or a heist in general, following these misfits led by Kaz Brecker, who kind of go and steal a person from a prison. So I read the first one last month, this month, in March, and I'll be leaving my vlog for that down below. But I'm excited to get into this book, and it fulfills a prompt, so we're gonna go with it. The next one is Duwende, and that is Read a Mass paperback, and if you guys don't know what a Duwende is, which I don't think you guys do, because I don't really. You see, my family only really used the Aswang and the White Lady for me. they didn't really teach me anything else. So Duwende are Filipino mythical creatures, beast monsters. So it's an old man with the height of a small child dwelling beneath the earth. And that is to read, oh, that makes sense. But the prompt for this is to read a mass market paperback. Mistakes have been made? I didn't include one for that? Okay, well, guess I won't be fulfilling the prompt, but, well, I will fulfill the prompt now. But I'm gonna end up choosing The Dark Half by Stephen King. I have not read this book at all. I don't know what this is about. Oh, here we go. Thad Beaumont would like to say he's innocent, says that he has nothing to do with a series of monstrous murders that come close to his home, but somehow all of the murders follow in line with his best-selling novels, and they're coming closer and closer and closer to his home. So we're gonna go with that because I somehow missed that one, that prompt. The next one is A White Lady, and this is a very popular one in Filipino culture. I did a lot of research on this one because it is very close to something that I was terrified with as a young child, a youngin'. And this is basically these white ladies show up everywhere throughout the world, but they start showing up in the Filipino mythology around the time that the Spanish conquistadors started to show up and, you know, fuck things up. Essentially, it's a woman who has died a pretty horrific way, and now her spirit kind of wanders and causes a lot of mayhem for a lot of people. There are lots of videos and like stories about the white lady showing up on specific roads in the Philippines and like getting into taxis and then like disappearing or making a terrifying face and causing the taxi driver to crash or stop. I know my dad used to say that his house was haunted in the Philippines, was haunted by a white lady. Don't know, I have never actually seen one, and God forbid I ever do. But that prompt is to read a book with a white cover, and I'm gonna bend the rules again. For this prompt, I'm reading The Hunger Games. I'm also part of a Hunger Games read-along starting April 6th because my original covers were secondhand and were amazing and I love them, but they are falling apart. So I ordered a new set of covers and I got the special edition ones that are white and they are on the way. So I don't own it, but here's the cover that has white on it, and it is a white cover, and yeah. I feel so bad that I don't know most of these ones, but my parents never taught me because we were more religious than we were superstitious. Or at least my parents didn't want me to learn about them because I was a baby. Okay, so the Tiyanak is the next prompt, and it's a vampiric creature that takes the form of a toddler or a baby, and it cries in the jungle to attract unwary travelers. And the prompt for that is to, I believe, read a mystery book that'll keep you guessing. And for that, I chose 2 books that are possibilities because one of them will double up in a minute. But the first one is Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. I bought this book not knowing much about it. I just knew that it came out and I wanted to get it. But it looked interesting. And it's a mystery. The next one is actually written by a Filipino author, and I've been meaning to get to this for a while, and that is Ilustrado by Miguel Siuco. This is about a young man whose mentor commits suicide, but he doesn't really believe it. And the intrigue of it brings him, I believe, back to the Philippines where he hasn't been in years to find a missing manuscript and find out that there's a little bit more to his mentor's death than he anticipated. I have been on a long journey trying to find books written by Filipino authors. I have created a Goodreads shelf on it, and since some of them I can't always find easily here in America, I have tried to find them as best as I can. So this was one of the books that I ended up finding and buying, and hopefully I will have many more books by the end of 2020 that are by Filipino authors. But this is the first book that we're gonna go with, because, well, second, because I have The Everlasting Nora back here somewhere. So yeah, I am excited to pick this up. Hopefully I get to it this year or this readathon, but who knows, because this one has been on a couple TBRs. So the next prompt is the Berberoka, and that is a swamp creature that can change its size and likes eating humans alive. It's interesting. Our Filipino mythology interests me so much just because I like reading mythology, and I don't see a lot of similar creatures that pop up in mythology such as Filipino. But sadly, it's so hard to find books here in America that write specifically on Filipino mythology. And if they are, they're done by white people. So I'm like, I don't know how much I can trust you with that. And for this one, the prompt is to read a book that has a body of water on the title or in the cover. And I'm going with Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. Again, I don't know what this is about, but there is water on the cover and it has the word water in the title. This one I'm also going to butcher because I can barely spell it. The Bungisngis. Ha! Okay, so the Bungisngis is a one-eyed giant in Filipino folklore. It is described as always laughing, and the name actually is derived from the Cebuano word it means to giggle. I'm a really bad Filipino. I'm so whitewashed. Like, I can understand Tagalog, I can speak bits of it, pero yung pronunciation, wala. It's gone. But the prompt for this book is find a book that makes you laugh, and this book has been on the TBR for a while. So she's carrying into April. And that is Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. This is literally called a Divine Comedy. It's supposed to be a parody, or not a parody, it's supposed to be a comedy book that's about this kid who is an atheist who goes to a Catholic school, and there he finds kind of an AA group for people who don't fit under the very religious category. So I have heard that this book is hilarious, it's super funny, and as a religious person myself, or a semi-religious person myself, I'm very excited to see what this book is about and hopefully get to it in April. And the last one is the Tikbalang, which, you see, my parents did me a disservice by not teaching me these things. So it's a creature that's said to lurk in the mountains of the forest of the Philippines that is tall, bony, humanoid creature with a head and hooves of a horse and disproportionately long limbs. So Gerald said that he posted a picture of a centaur, pero these are not pictures of centaurs. That is not a centaur, sir. It's kind of scarring, actually. Prompt for this one is to pick a book with a land animal on the cover. And I ended up choosing The Cold in Her Bones by Peter Nell van Arsdale. There are snakes on the cover. This is a Medusa retelling around this kind of demon curse that goes through and kidnaps girls in this girl's village. There, finally, a young girl comes back, or comes to visit, and things ensue, and then now she has to find a way to protect her new friend. That's all I know. That is all I know. It's a Medusa retelling. I don't know what else to tell you. I've heard a couple things when this book first came out. I didn't hear anything else after the book came out, so here we go. But that is it for my TBR for PhilMyth Readathon. Again, this goes on from March 29th through April 11th. I don't know if I'll be vlogging it just because I do have a couple of other books in this pile that I am planning on vlogging. But if I can find a way to squeeze in a fourth vlog for the month, I will go ahead and do that. But until next time, hit like, subscribe, comment. Please let me know if you guys are planning on joining, or if you guys are joining, what the books you're trying to read. How badly did I mispronounce my own language? Tell me, because at this point, it's just sad and frustrating. But until next time, I hope to see you guys in another video. And I hope you guys are having a great week. And if not, hopefully next week is better for you. Bye!